Hi. I don't know what it's been like for you, but November has just flown by for me. I realize it's the last day of November, and it is time to be doing my card reading for December. So today I've picked the Archangel Michael cards by Doreen Virtue, and that's what I'll be using. So anyone who hasn't been watching these videos, typically I pull 3 cards to give a general reading for the month of December. And there's an energy going on that's similar for all of us living on the planet Earth. And we all seem to be going kind of through similar things. And you might find that when you talk to your friends, you're surprised. I know even with people I know, sometimes, well, recently I've had a bad shoulder, and everyone I seem to talk to seems to have a bad shoulder right now. So I'm not putting that out there. You don't need to have a bad shoulder. Just it's interesting how your circle of friends tend to have similar issues. So, what do we need to know about the month of December? So far it looks good. So the first card I pulled is You're on the Right Path. And if you have this deck, you're able to pull the card and have a better look. Now, what's written on the card and the prayer on the bottom of the card, I will tell you, but it doesn't always necessarily have anything to do with the reading. But I will read the prayer. Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. Thank you for giving me loud and clear guidance that I easily understand. Thank you for motivating me and filling me with the courage and confidence to make helpful life changes. So there's Archangel Michael on this card, as well as I'm assuming it's a little girl, could be a little boy. And the expression on his face, on the angel's face, is more of it has to do with you're on the right path, but he's going like, why are you questioning it? Why would you even think you're not on the right path? You're always on the right path. Even when you think you're on the wrong path, you're on the right path. So if I have learned anything, it's that all the difficulties I have gone through in my life still had me in the exact right place I needed to be. Because that information of that experience has been useful not only as a hands-on healer for my clients, but also for my children, friends, all sorts of stuff like that. So no matter how difficult things might seem to be right now for you, what you need to remember, and always remember, is that you are on the right path. You are exactly where you need to be. Now, can you change that? You most certainly can. You can change anything at any time. But I will finish this reading first and see what it has to say about that. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I want to connect into Archangel Michael, since this is his deck, and I don't think I've done this with you guys in any of my reading before, but there's a definite feel to Archangel Michael when he comes into your life. So we have talked about meditation, so I want you to ground down to the center of the earth. You can even just say those words and feel that energy moving down. You don't have to visualize a pole going to the center of the earth, although you can. And then I want you to open up your light from the top of your head to infinity. And as you say that, you should be able to feel a connection, or you can see that light moving upwards to the heaven. I know not everyone's visual. Some people feel, some people just have a knowing, and that knowing will have you feeling after saying those words that you are in a different place than you were previously, because you're now grounded. And then with me, we're going to ask Archangel Michael to come into the room and be with us. So for me, I feel a lightness in the air. I feel lifted up, almost like floaty. And there's definitely a cool breeze that I notice. It can be very different for you than it is for me. I also see Archangel Michael in my mind's eye. He's quite large with huge wings and very muscular. There's a real sense of love that comes into my being when he's around. It almost gets you warm inside from just such an overwhelmed amount of love. Occasionally I see him as indigo blue sparkles in the room. Typically around the top 2 feet of the room is where I notice those sparkles. Sometimes it's an indigo blue mist, and that's how I see him. So if you've just called him into the room, you might have noticed some type of difference. And this is something you can practice time and time again to get a feel for what Archangel Michael feels like. So the second card is be gentle with yourself. And there's a picture of an angel, and he's carrying a lamb. And the prayer says, Archangel Michael, please guide me in treating myself with gentle, nurturing love in everything I think, speak, and do. Help me know that I deserve this compassion. I release any feelings of guilt to you so that I may experience lasting inner peace. So there's a definite feel of peacefulness within this person on this picture. Just truly content. And even the lamb is not having a problem. And I would think the lamb in that type of position would be rather uncomfortable. But he's not. So many times when we're going through things, especially struggling about whether we're on the right path, we come down on ourselves, we're hard on ourselves, and we have a hard time forgiving ourselves for where we are and what we're doing. But if you come back and you remember that this is exactly where you need to be at this time, you can release some of that feelings, the feelings of guilt or resentment or anger or frustration. And what I do is typically I take those feelings, it's like I drop them into my hands, and then depending on your belief system, I have no problem with God, so I will use the word God. You can use the word universe, you can use whatever you'd like to use, Archangel Michael even. Take those worries and literally hand them over and say, I no longer need to worry about this any longer. Please take it from me. And again, you will feel almost like a lightness come out of your hands. And your brain will go empty, even for a few seconds, because that has disappeared. And if you're lucky, it will empty your brain out for much longer than that. So be gentle with yourself. You're not the only person who's ever been in this situation. You won't be the last. And if it was somebody who was close to you who was dealing with this situation or whatever issue it is that's going on in your life right now, you would not be nearly as hard on them as you are being on yourself. And hopefully whoever your friends are would not be as hard on you as you're being on yourself. So in order to move through this situation in a more gentler way, with ease and grace, take a big breath, and as you release that sigh, let go of what you no longer need, whether it's an issue or an emotion, or some mental blockage. Just breathe in, and on the exhalation, let go of what you no longer need. So the third card is make a commitment. There's definitely a theme going on today. And the prayer to this card is, Archangel Michael, as the angel of courage and confidence, I call upon you to lend me your strength. Allow me to commit to myself, my life, and my divine purpose. Please clearly guide me so I can fully open my heart to every experience. And in this picture, you will see that Archangel Michael is committed to you, fully committed to you in whatever your endeavors are and whatever you need. He is able to love you no matter what, and he is there to support you in whatever you need to get through. So if the commitment to yourself is difficult, do not worry, because you have help in moving forward into that place, whether it's big or small. And I know when I was on my path trying to find out where I needed to be and what I needed to do, it was a huge struggle to stay positive, because you're so busy looking for something, you forget to enjoy the moment that you're in. When you do come around to that place and you actually start walking in the light each and every day, there's a feeling of lightness, and you know you're on your path, and you don't know what your future might be, but you know you're there and you're in the right spot to get to wherever that's supposed to be. There were times I was doing jobs that did not make sense to me at all, but now in hindsight, it totally made sense why I was doing the sort of things I was doing. And just knowing that you can accept that moment in time is a great place to be. Now tomorrow, that moment in time might not be where you need to be, excuse me, and there'll be a change in your mental being or your emotional being that just knows it's time to move on to something else. And that's the whole part of timing, accepting timing and knowing when things need to change. When you come into your being and you are in that light, in that day and in that moment, you will know if it's right or if it's wrong. It's the way things work. So I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. It's been very exciting for me today, something a little different than what I was expecting, which of course is typically the case, so goes without saying. You can find out more information about the angels this month on my newsletter. So if you'd like to sign up for the newsletter, you can find me at www.healingpossibilities.com. Have a great month.